Hey lovelies, what's up, what's up? So I wanted to just talk about something I've been feeling lately, or just really noticing. So again, I am currently temporarily at a shelter, and the other day, I overheard like a conversation, and it's not like I'm just like out here peeping in people's conversations. Sometimes God tunes my ear to certain conversations. Okay. So I was able to hear this, and it was between a Palestinian woman and a German woman. And I was just, listening. The Palestinian woman, she was very, very sweet. She said she just kind of gave me a couple compliments about my hair, and, just what I could get from her. She was just very, she seemed very innocent, just very naive as well. And the German woman, she just within the conversation, the Palestinian woman was showing her something in regards to Cash App. Like, she was pretty much introducing her to Cash App and just explaining to her, hey, you can use this for, sending money. I guess the German woman was going to take her somewhere, because this woman was about to get an apartment and everything, and there was something that she needed to do. So the German woman was going to take her, and I wish I knew their names, but I don't. I'm just saying their ethnicity. But the Palestinian woman, she was telling her kind of like what she was going to be doing as far as work, and I just heard the German woman say, well, what about me? And I was just like, okay, wait a second, like, that's weird. If you're genuinely helping someone, there shouldn't be this what about me mentality. If you have to really understand what people are saying when they're saying what they're saying, okay? When people are speaking, they're actually telling you who they are and what their motives actually are. So this is what I was hearing, and I really just said a prayer, because this woman, the Palestinian woman, she seemed very naive, and I'm just like, God, I pray that you surround her with the right people and, the best for whatever endeavors that she, that you have for her. But I didn't like that. But one thing that I do know is, one thing when I'm connecting with anyone, I always check people's ID. And when I say check people's ID, I don't actually mean like their driver's license. I check Sigmund Freud's his psychoanalytic theory of, the human species instinctual patterns, okay? That's what I check. So it's like when you're going through something pretty rough, or just something challenging, that is the best time to see how someone is going to act, okay? To see what their motives are, what they're geared, what they're charged by, because you have the ego and the super ego, and these things are supposed to come in and just kind of counteract that instinctual way of thinking and being, okay? So you can see, just having a conversation with someone, or really just in a tough situation, how people handle things. And Sigmund Freud's example, it was about aggression, the way they handle when they're hungry. You get to see the instinctual ways that people respond. So that's something that I, have been checking, when I'm connecting with people. I use this as like a vetting system of how to handle people. As I was sitting with this morning, I don't even know why it came up this morning, because like I said, the conversation, it happened, like I heard it was maybe a week ago. Okay. And well, it came up because God wanted me to talk about it. But one thing that I would like to say is, I'm not saying this in a racial way, like to be racist in any way. This is something that you have to remember, something that you have to put in mind. So God had me go back to their pretty much history, okay? Because history is what presents itself so that we don't repeat it, okay? It shows itself so we don't repeat those same patterns, okay? So I have two examples when it comes to that. The German woman. Think about the history of Germany, okay? And I'm, again, not being racist in any way. I'm just saying you have to know these things. Think about the history of Germany. You have a leader of Germany years and years ago, Hitler, who pretty much tried to take over Europe, okay? He wanted power, okay? So when I was listening to this woman talk, she was so focused on herself and what she was gonna get, okay? When this woman was sharing her victory, okay? And then you think about Palestine, okay, where this woman's, from, and how her people have been restricted, and people have tried to take over and take power of them. So you just have to really take things like that into consideration when you're talking to people. And you can see, okay, where their ID is. You can see if the super ego has come in and they've learned these new ways they see their shit. They see, hey, this is, the type of person I am. This is the type of genetic makeup. My ancestry was pretty much based upon this. So I have to be able to change and understand this, see it, and get better here in this area. Another example with this would be, Jesus, for instance. So Jesus came as the example. He was God in the flesh. So he came to show us how we're supposed to live and how we're supposed to be. But within that, God also allowed us to see that the people who are closest to us can also be against us. Judas, for instance, okay? God knew, okay? He knows everything. So God knew that there was going to be someone that was going to betray him. He knew this. And within that, it was allowed to happen. That was something within history that we saw, we understood, and it's something that we're supposed to use so that we can protect ourselves, so that doesn't happen in our lives. I mean, you really have to vet the people that you're bringing into your life. And that really starts with the people that you currently have in your life.